the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Shri Conrad K. Sangma. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly rise as we welcome him. Receiving our chief guest is the Deputy Commissioner of East Khasi Hills District, Kumari Isa Wanda Lalu, and the Superintendent of Police East Khasi Hills, Shri Sylvester Nongthangeru, along with the Chief Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya, Shri M.S. Rao, and Shri R. Chandranathan, the Director General of Police, Meghalaya. Kindly be seated. The parade commander now reports to the chief guest. The parade commander for today's parade is Sri N. Subhash Singh, MPS, Assistant Commandant of the 1st MLP Battalion, Mavyong.
Ladies and gentlemen, contemporary India is very different from India in which Mahatma Gandhi lived and worked. Even then, Gandhiji remains extremely relevant in his advocacy of sustainability, ecological sensitivity, and living in harmony with nature. He anticipated pressing challenges of our time. Let us recall another quote from the father of our nation, and I quote, "If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change towards him. We need not wait to see what others do," unquote.
Today, it is but apt to remember the tryst with destiny as on the eve of first Independence Day. I quote, "Long years ago we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly, in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment come which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance, and her people, and to the still larger cause of humanity," unquote. The parade commander now takes leave of the chief guest to command the march past to begin shortly. The contingents will march to the tunes being played by the brass band drawn from the Border Wing Home Guards. Ladies and gentlemen, approaching the dais now are the three contingents participating in today's Independence Day parade. Leading the three contingents, we have today's parade commander, Assistant Commandant N. Subhaj Singh, followed by the two IC of today's parade, Inspector Rajan Bordloy. The first marching contingent taking the salute is the contingent of the Border Security Force, led by Sub-Inspector Rupendra Dhabai. On the heels of the BSF, we have the contingent from the Central Reserve Police Force, led by Sub-Inspector Rajbir Singh. At number 3, following the CRPF, ladies and gentlemen, we have the contingent from the SF-10, led by Sub-Inspector Ibandalen Walang.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a loud round of applause for the striking display of parade at this celebration, the result of untiring efforts put in these past few days.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause for the band from the Border Wing Home Guards? Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Samiksha Kram, or the 14 steps forward. That was the general salute in honor of the chief guest. May I now request our chief guest, the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Shri Conrad K. Sangma, to kindly address this august gathering.
My dear Meghalayans, on this momentous occasion of the 75th Independence Day, I convey my heartfelt greetings to all of you. Today, we remember and pay homage to our freedom fighters and founding leaders of the world's greatest democracy. Mahatma Gandhi, who taught us the lessons of truth and non-violence. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who united this country. Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, who gave us our constitution. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who raised the first Indian National Army, Azad Hind Fauj. Jawaharlal Nehru, for his vision of a new industrialized India, and many known and unknown names. We also salute the sacrifices of the patriots from Meghalaya, like U Tirot Singh, U Khyang Nangba, Pathogan Sangma, for their courage and commitment towards freedom. These three heroes are being honored through various programs as part of the India at 75 celebrations. 74 years ago, on this day, we declared our independence from a distant invader. But today, our fight is against a deadly virus. Since the onset of COVID-19, we have had more than 71,000 positive cases. We have also lost more than 1,200 lives. I take this opportunity to salute our frontline healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, volunteers, community leaders, religious leaders, police personnel, municipal workers, political representatives, and district administration teams who selflessly risk their lives every day to serve others in need. To those who have suffered and lost their near and dear ones, I would like to extend my sincere condolences. Friends, since the beginning of this pandemic, we have followed a collaborative approach in dealing with every challenge by involving the community leaders, localities, religious institutions, and above all, the people of the state. Through this process, we have been able to deal with the various issues and reduce the suffering of our citizens. We are still in the second wave of the pandemic. Though the number of cases today is on the decline compared to the peak in May 2021, our positivity rates continue to be high. we need to be extremely vigilant and follow all the COVID-19 protocols. Most importantly, we need to increase vaccination coverage. The state opened up to COVID-19 vaccination for people over 18 years and above from the 14th of May 2021. COVID Shield vaccine is being administered free of cost in the government vaccination centers. Despite the understanding that COVID-19 vaccination is crucial for protection against severe disease and death, the progress of COVID-19 vaccination in the state is sadly unsatisfactory. As on date, 47% of eligible individuals have taken at least their first dose. There is considerable vaccine hesitancy in the state, especially in the rural areas, largely due to misinformation. Along with vaccine hesitancy, the state is also confronted with refusal for testing and delays in seeking medical attention by infected persons. Studies and statistics world over, as well as practical evidence, have indicated that the impact of COVID-19 has not been severe on persons who have been vaccinated. Vaccines give protection from serious illness and death. While the government has been making all efforts to control the pandemic, significant impact can be achieved only with the cooperation of the community and the residents. Please wear your masks correctly, keep distance from others, wash or sanitize your hands frequently, and vaccinate yourself immediately. Let us be responsible, not only for our safety, but more so for the safety of our near and dear ones. The state government has decided to award the first 100 villages which achieve full vaccination coverage of eligible population by the 31st of August 2021. An amount of rupees 5 lakhs will be given to every such village for carrying out development work. Friends, since the outbreak of COVID-19 in early 2020, the state government has upgraded the infrastructure of several health facilities. The number of beds has been increased. Oxygen facilities have also been set up in district hospitals and community health centers in view of the importance of medical oxygen for management of COVID-19 patients. Medical gas pipelines and PSA oxygen generation plants have been installed at various hospitals. A cryogenic oxygen plant is now operational at Umsauli, East Khasi Hills, and another is ready to be inaugurated at Jingjal, West Karo Hills. Fortunately, we did not face any severe shortage of oxygen during the peak period of the second wave. In addition to upgrading the health infrastructure, we have taken a number of relief measures. Last year, during the first wave of the pandemic, we provided monetary support to registered and unregistered laborers and other workers. Monetary support to the citizens who got stranded in other states. Arranged transport for them to Meghalaya and provided support to community quarantine centers. We also distributed provision kits to the quarantined and positive case households. We set up quarantine and corona care centers across the state. This year, during the second wave, we continued with the running of the quarantine and corona care centers and the distribution of provision kits. Further, given the unfortunate increase in the number of fatalities, we are providing an ex gratia payment of rupees 50,000 to the family members of the deceased. We have also enhanced the coverage of Meghalaya Health Insurance Scheme to reduce the out-of-pocket expenditure for the hospitalized individuals and regulated the rates of COVID-19 treatment by private hospitals. Despite of COVID-19 pandemic, our focus on basic healthcare services and maternal and child health has remained strong. With 90% coverage during 2021, Meghalaya has ranked second in the country in routine immunization. Through focused monitoring under the Mother program, the institutional deliveries have increased in 9 out of the 11 districts last year. We have also started a rescue mission to save the lives of mothers, neonates, and infants. Under the Government of India Maternity Benefit Program, cash incentives of rupees 5,000 were given in 3 installments to 31,800 beneficiaries over the last 3 years. A comprehensive program for the infrastructure upgradation of all the 659 health facilities is being implemented with the support from the World Bank. 340 health facilities are being upgraded to Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers. We have also launched telemedicine and teleconsultation services to enhance our health facility coverage in rural areas. Along with health, education forms the core of human development. Many challenges remain in primary, secondary, and higher education sectors. We have undertaken a range of steps to address several of the issues with particular focus on infrastructure upgradation. The construction of 39 EMRS schools has been initiated. At present, the construction of 2 EMRS at Pahamsiem in Ribhoy and Samanda in East Karo Hills are at an advanced stage. For the remaining EMRS, works are under various stages of implementation. The upgradation of infrastructure at another 208 schools has also been taken up this year through the state's budget. In higher and technical education, the Shillong College of Engineering, College of Architecture and Urban Planning, Tura, the Captain Williamson Sangma Technical University, the Patharkama Model Degree College, and the Rongjeng Model Degree College are near completion and will be operationalized soon. I'm optimistic that all of these efforts shall lead to comprehensive improvement in the education sector. Dear citizens, since the MDA government came to power, we have been prioritizing development, and I am confident and proud to say that this government is living up to its promises on the delivery of developmental services. We have set for ourselves a very ambitious target of transforming Meghalaya into one of the top 10 Indian states in terms of per capita income and achievement of sustainable development goals within the next 10 years. In my last Independence Day speech, I launched the Restart Meghalaya mission, promising an investment of rupees 14,515 crores in various critical sectors. I am happy to report that many of these investments are being done, and some of these investments are already showing results. Infrastructural development is foundational for sustainable growth. Lack of proper road connectivity prevents farmers from accessing markets, women from accessing health care, and hinders overall development. To solve this problem, my government has been working tirelessly to construct rural roads on a never-before-seen scale. In the last 2 years, we have completed the construction of about 1,000 kilometers of rural roads under the PMGSY program. Another 1,850 kilometers of roads will be completed in the next 2 years. Alongside rural roads, we are investing about rupees 1,700 crores in major roads and bridges. Critical roads like the Bajingdoba, Resu, Mindipattar, Damra Road, the Umling Patarkama Road, the Pasya Garampani Road, the Mairang Rani Godown Road, and the Rongram Pulbari Hill Road are under construction and will be completed by the end of 2022. Iconic bridges constructed at the Umkod River in West Jentia Hills, Shela River in East Khasi Hills, and Damrung River in North Karo Hills. Work on 2 key national highway projects is underway: 2-laning from Tura Dalu Road of National Highway 51, covering a total of 54 kilometers, and improving of National Highway 40 between Shillong and Dauki, and construction of Dauki Bridge, covering a total length of 80 kilometers. In water supply, we have a very ambitious vision of providing functional tap connections to 5.9 lakh households in the state by the end of 2022. Of these, we have already completed 1.33 lakhs, which is over 25% of the target. This aggressive implementation of the Jal Jeevan Mission is transforming the lives of the people. For instance, in Rikhen village in Mairang block, West Khasi Hills, women and children have been freed from the drudgery of fetching water from far away springs, thanks to the functional household tap connections provided in all the 145 households. We want to bring such transformation and comfort to our women and children across the rural areas of the state. We are also implementing large water supply schemes in Shillong, Tura, Nongstoin, and Bakmara. Recently, the Greater Sora Water Supply Scheme, constructed with an investment of rupees 24 crores, was inaugurated. Friends, the availability of quality and reliable power supply is crucial for all, including farmers, small businesses, and large industries. Unfortunately, the sector has faced persistent challenges on account of the financial liabilities that had accumulated over the last 10 years. These liabilities have been crippling the entire sector. My government had to take the bold step of availing a loan of rupees 1,345 crores under the Government of India's Atmanirbhar scheme to clear all the pending liabilities. We have also made a detailed action plan for reducing the aggregate transmission and distribution losses, along with improving our billing and collection efficiencies over the next 3 years. The construction of the 22.5 megawatt Ganol hydroelectric project is progressing well. In 2022, we will be able to generate power in Garo Hills and fulfill a long-held aspiration of the region. We are also making efforts to set up solar power projects to diversify the energy mix of the state. Several other critical infrastructure projects are getting implemented at a fast pace. We intend to complete these projects well before the Golden Jubilee celebration of our statehood in January next year. These include the new Assembly Building, the Shillong International Center for Performing Arts and Culture, and the IT Park in New Shillong Township. Various schemes under the Shillong Smart City Project, the Tribal Research Institute at Babadam, West Garo Hills, and the P.A. Sangma Football Stadium at Tura. Recently, we inaugurated the interstate bus terminus at Maulai Moyong. Continuing on the theme of infrastructure, I would like to emphasize on border infrastructure. We share a border of 444.8 kilometers with Bangladesh. Increasing border trade could give a boost to the economies of our border villages. I believe that Bangladesh offers huge potential for economic cooperation in the sectors of agriculture and tourism. This year, 3 border huts were inaugurated at Bolaganj and Rinku in East Khasi Hills and Nalikata in Southwest Khasi Hills, and the construction of another 3 huts is underway. Dear friends, our state is an agri-based economy, and more than 70% of our population is engaged in agriculture, horticulture, fisheries, livestock, and textile sector. As we gear up to celebrate the Golden Jubilee of the statehood, this government wants to do something fundamental for the farmers and producers of the state. With this vision, we launched a comprehensive program called Focus. Farmers collectivization for upscaling production and marketing systems. This program aims at collectivization of farmers into producer groups, FPOs, and cooperatives. Under the program, over the next 15 months, rupees 5,000 will be provided to every farming household for taking up activities related to value chain development. This funding will be provided as a corpus to the producer groups. An amount of rupees 200 crores will be spent on the Focus program. The pilot phase of the program has been successfully implemented with the formulation of over 2,200 new producer groups comprising of about 30,000 farmers. An amount of about rupees 12 crores has already been credited into the bank accounts of the producer groups. I have personally interacted with the banana and ginger groups in Songsak block and the bay leaf and honey producer groups in Mokurwat block, who have been provided funds under the Focus program. The response from the farmers is overwhelming. They now have money at hand to invest in immediate needs of production rather than having to look for money lenders or financial institutions or government departments. Mission mode projects with specific product focus continue to be implemented. Under the Lakadong mission, an additional area of 1,075 hectares has been covered, benefiting over 6,000 farmers in the Lasken and Thadlasken blocks. Export shipments of our turmeric has also been facilitated to the Netherlands, Russia, UK, and the United States of America. Under the mushroom mission, annual production of oyster and button mushroom has increased from 27 metric tons to 200 metric tons during 2020-21. New initiatives in horticulture include the focus on citrus revival, development of bee value chain, promoting floriculture, and increasing vegetable production. Centers of excellence are being set up for citrus at Dawagri in East Garo Hills and for vegetables at Jongsha in East Khasi Hills and for bee development at Sambrak in North Garo Hills. Another aspiration for our state is to be completely organic by 2030. The Bioresources Development Center at Upper Shillong has been declared as a state nodal agency for organic certification. Fisheries and aquaculture are key sources of income generation in Meghalaya. We continue to implement Meghalaya State Aquaculture Mission 2.0, in addition to area expansion and increasing production development of fish sanctuaries is also being prioritized. Leveraging our strengths, our state's strengths in rearing livestock, we have been implementing the piggery mission and the milk mission successfully. Under the piggery mission, 95 cooperative societies and 1,367 producers have been sanctioned interest-free loans for breeding and fattening. Friends, another primary sector activity that is particularly important for our women farmers is weaving and sericulture. The government is supporting the Eri and Muga weavers in adopting scientific methods. The process of obtaining the geographical indication for Meghalaya's unique Eri, the Rindia Peace Silk, is under process. An issue that plagues all rural farmers in the state is access to credit. With limited penetration of banks in rural Meghalaya and COVID-19 pandemic, our farmers are facing extreme hardship in accessing banking services. Unfortunately, it has become a common sight to see long queues of villagers, particularly women, sometimes with infants, waiting for hours together in front of banks, either to deposit or withdraw cash. Such hardships are not acceptable in this information technology age. We are working on expanding the banking network in rural areas. 19 new branches are planned to be opened by the end of 2021-22. I also understand that brick and mortar financial institutions cannot be set up everywhere, owing to business considerations. As an alternative, We have been working on a model of deploying banking correspondents to provide banking services at the doorstep of rural people. 185 such banking correspondents equipped with micro ATMs and covering over 800 unbanked villages have been deployed so far. These banking correspondents are solving the last mile access problem very effectively, while generating employment for themselves. For instance, Kong Boklinsha Kharwanyang, a BC agent deployed in Mokurwat block of southwest Khasi Hills, earned a commission of rupees 1.96 lakhs while providing banking services to several villages. I compliment all the 185 BCs, the State Rural Livelihood Society, and the Meghalaya Rural Bank for building this successful model. We will now expand this model to cover all the underbanked villages through a network of another 400 BCs. Another initiative for increasing the access to credit is the 2% interest subvention on Kisan credit card loans. About 26,000 farmers benefited from the program in 2020-21. From this year, we will fully subvent the interest to be paid by farmers on KCC loans. This effectively means zero interest credit to our farmers under the KCC program. In addition to easing the access to credit, the government has facilitated an effective cash transfer of about 14,500 to all the registered rural households in the state under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. The state spent 1,370 crores on the scheme in 2020-21. Several successful models of community project implementation and asset creation have emerged under the program. For instance, the Luang village, Morankneng block, East Khasi Hills, a project was undertaken to construct a check dam to preserve water resources and indigenous fish species. The area, once used as a dumping ground, is now transformed into a huge water resource, which has helped in revival of indigenous fish population and enabled construction of irrigation channels for farmers. This is a classic example of how Meghalaya is achieving the objective of rural wage employment while simultaneously building infrastructure to provide the quality of life of the people, to improve the quality of the life of the people. I take this opportunity to congratulate the community and rural development team, including all our block development officers and grassroots staff, for consistently making Meghalaya one of the best performers in the country under the MGNREGS program over the last 3 years. To create self-employment for women, the self-help group movement is being prioritized. Under the National Rural Livelihood Mission, over 32,000 self-help groups are functional, and majority of these groups have been formed over the last 3 years. These SHGs are bringing about a sea change in the empowerment of women and promoting economic and social development in the rural areas. For instance, in Gaubari village in South Garo Hills, the Nokrek Abri village organization set up a poultry farm with an overall investment of rupees 19 lakhs. The unit started its operation in May 2021 and is providing much needed employment and income to the women of the village, in addition to increasing the nutritional well-being of the children. The third priority group of this government, alongside women and farmers, is the youth of the state. In our state, 85% of the population is under 45 years of age. 74% is under 35 years, and 59% is under 25 years of age. This large proportion of the young population, if provided the right opportunities, could become the key agents of social change, economic development, and technological innovation. Taking due cognizance of this, the state youth policy was approved recently. It lays out a detailed framework for engaging and empowering the 12 lakh young people of the state in the age group of 15 to 29 years. Another area of importance for youth is sports. And in the last few weeks, we witnessed the youth of the country put up their best ever performance at the Tokyo Olympics. I would like to take this opportunity and congratulate all our medal winners whose performances have made us all proud. I am also, however, saddened for not having any athlete from our state on the National Olympic squad. I am determined that we should at least have a few of our athletes on the Paris Olympic squad in 2024. Today, I make a commitment to our athletes and the sports associations and that the government will do everything possible to achieve this dream. We have already started building world-class sports infrastructure at Shillong East Khasi Hills, Tura West Karo Hills, and Vaijer West Gente Hills. Rural infrastructures, including football grounds, running tracks, and basketball courts, are being constructed across various locations in the state. A fundamental concern for the youth is employment. The youth unemployment rate in urban areas in Meghalaya at 23.1% is higher than the national rate of 20.02%, while the rural rate of 8.9% is much lower than the national rate of 17.3%. We are focusing on skill development and entrepreneurship promotion to deal with the challenges of unemployment. In the last 3 years, more than 41,000 youths were trained in sectors like fashion, retail, and hospitality under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana program. 10 out of 12 ITIs in the state have been upgraded during the last 2 years. Given the pandemic and the uncertainties in the labor market, we are concentrating on skill development for the local economy in agri and allied sectors. I also believe that skilling should start early in a person's life. Accordingly, we will expand the existing vocational education program and are launching a unique program called Meghalaya One Skill, One Talent. Under this program, 50,000 mid-adolescents in the age group of 14 to 18 will be trained for 10 to 15 hours in their chosen skill and their chosen talent. I believe this program will provide a strong foundation for our youth development, enabling our children to discover themselves and to choose their life paths better. Over the last 3 years, we have given a sustained push to entrepreneurship promotion. The state's flagship entrepreneurship program, called PRIME, has reached out and supported hundreds of entrepreneurs. 2 editions of the Chief Minister's E-Championship Challenge have been conducted to identify the best startup business ideas in the state. Over 1,600 people applied for the 2nd edition of the challenge. We have set up prime hubs as one-stop shops for all enterprise support activities in Shillong and Tura. Funding windows in the form of kickstart grants of up to rupees 5 lakh and interest-free and collateral-free loans of up to 25 lakhs are being provided to the entrepreneurs. I urge all entrepreneurs to apply for these funding support and avail the end-to-end support available under the Prime program. The stories and journeys of several of our entrepreneurs are very inspiring. Pangshri N. Sangma of Vero Crafty from West Garo Hills. Panseng Sangma of PM Sangma Fish Feeds from East Garo Hills. Bandap Byang Jukhaid of Shillong Bamboo from East Khasi Hills, and Justipa Singh Rinthantiang from Mairang, West Khasi Hills, are just a few of the many entrepreneur champions of our state. A specific entrepreneurial segment that has huge potential in the state is cultural and creative industries. To further this, we have started providing funding support to our artisans and creative entrepreneurs. An inspiring story is of Mirila R. Marak, a 65-year-old potter from Siju in South Garo Hills. She is one of the longest practitioners of the centuries-old craft of hand pottery. Thanks to the rupees 5 lakhs of startup grant she received recently, she is building a pottery studio that will be used both for enhancing production, training the younger generation, and promoting tourism. Friends, the tourism sector has been the lifeline for thousands of our citizens and has played an instrumental role in putting Meghalaya on the world map. Globally, the sector has been under tremendous stress, and stakeholders have suffered because of the ongoing pandemic. To partially mitigate the distress of the hotel industry, the government has been using many hotels for providing accommodation to the frontline workers and as quarantine centers. Till now, rupees 24 crores has been released to such hotels, and this has prevented job losses for those engaged in the sector. As and when tourism opens, we are ready to receive tourists in a systematic manner. As was promised to the citizens, the facilitation center at Umling was set up and is fully functional, fully operational. The construction of the center at Mendipatha railway station is completed. The construction of facilitation center at Berubari, North Garo Hills, and Ratachera, East Jente Hills are underway. Our fundamental priority now is to create quality tourism infrastructure in various places. The much-awaited Crowborough Hotel in the heart of Shillong will be operational by the end of the year. The construction of luxury resorts at Sakala Duma in Nokrek, West Garo Hills, and at Shnong Padeng, West Jente Hills, has been initiated. New resorts are planned at Sora and Lightlum in East Khasi Hills, Umling and Maulindep, Riboy, and at Balpakram National Park in South Garo Hills. Holistic development of tourism infrastructure will also be undertaken in villages with high tourism potential like Kongthong in East Khasi Hills, Kudemgring in Darang in West Jente Hills, Shnongrim in East Jente Hills, Nongknum and Mautarashan in West Khasi Hills, Jakrem and Nongna in Southwest Khasi Hills, Siju in South Garo Hills, Dalmagri in Southwest Garo Hills, Bansamgre in East Garo Hills, and Resubelpara in North Garo Hills, and others. Efforts are also on to improve the air connectivity to the state. Currently, we already have direct flights from Umroi to Calcutta, New Delhi, Silchar, Agartala, and Imphal. We are hopeful that with improved connectivity and infrastructure, the tourism sector will achieve its potential and go on to become the main driver of growth and employment generation. Friends, our state is one of the rainiest places on planet Earth, with water and forest deeply entwined with our lives and livelihoods. An unparalleled push is being given to water conservation. About 100 small multi-purpose reservoirs are being constructed across the state. An ambitious plan for construction of another 2,500 such reservoirs with an investment of about 730 crores has recently been approved by the Ministry of Finance. The construction of these reservoirs, the construction of these 2,500 reservoirs will begin before the next monsoons. We all know that forests are the best natural reservoirs for conserving soil, water and soil. About 76% of its geographical area of the state is under forest and tree cover. The government is working towards bringing an additional 500 square kilometers of area under forest by 2030. Towards this goal, about 10 lakh saplings have been planted this year. We are building both government and community nurseries so that 1 crore saplings can be planted in the next season. Policy initiatives like the Meghalaya Electric Vehicle Policy 2021 have been taken up to reduce pollution and protect the environment. As per the policy, 20,000 electric vehicles are planned to be inducted over the next 5 years. Further, we are also taking all necessary steps to move towards scientific coal mining. 5 applications from the state have got prior approval for prospecting from the Government of India. I am optimistic that in the coming months, mining leases will be granted with the approval of the Ministry of Coal. I am happy to inform you that the Union Government is supporting us in our natural resource management endeavor. Recently, the Honorable Union Home Minister, Shri Amit Shah Ji, inaugurated the Sora Eco Restoration Project, which aims at increasing the green cover and providing green livelihoods to the 45 villages in Sora area. Dear citizens, all the developmental efforts of the government rely on the foundations of peace, law and order, and good governance. This year, the overall law and order situation in the state was by and large peaceful. Various festivals and national days were celebrated peacefully, following the health protocols. Elections of the Garo Hills Autonomous District Council were successfully conducted in April 2021. The interstate boundary with Assam has been a long pending issue. Meghalaya shares 884 kilometers boundary with Assam. There are 12 areas of differences between the two states that need to be resolved. Both state governments are keen to discuss and bring about a long-lasting solution. To take this forward, I held 2 meetings with the Chief Minister of Assam. We decided to take up 6 out of the 12 areas of differences in the first phase and the remaining 6 areas in the next phase. Joint committees headed by a cabinet minister from Meghalaya and Assam will conduct inspection of the 6 areas of the first phase, namely Tarabari, Gizang, Hahim in West Khasi Hills, Boklapara and Khanapara Pilankata in Ribhoi, and Ratachera in East Jente Hills. The state government is committed to finding an amicable solution to the boundary dispute with Assam. Law and order situation along the Assam-Meghalaya interstate border is normal, except for a few incidents which have been addressed immediately. Friends, good governance is a core pillar of the state's Vision 2030, and the MDA government has taken several steps in the last 3 years on this front. These include actions to improve the ease of doing business, the passage of the Meghalaya Right to Public Services Act, the localization of the Sustainable Development Goals, and increased usage of information technology in various citizen-to-government and government-to-government transactions. The recently launched life certification for pensioners through the use of facial recognition technology is being used by over 10,000 pensioners. Friends, I would like to once again appeal to all of you to follow the COVID-19 protocols and get vaccinated. I would like to reaffirm that vaccines work and are effective against preventing the spread and reducing the fatality associated with COVID-19. Data from Meghalaya itself validates this. Almost 92% of the people who lost their lives over the last 4 months were unvaccinated. These unfortunate casualties could have been avoided had they received vaccinations on time. With our collective efforts, I am hopeful that we can overcome the pandemic in the coming months. Friends, the year 2022 is of great significance for the state as we celebrate the Golden Jubilee of statehood. I have requested the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, for the grand celebration, and that we plan to organize at Shillong on the 21st of January 2022. And I have invited him to be the chief guest of that function. As we move towards that milestone, my government and I are committed to lead Meghalaya and its 38 lakh citizens into a better future. A future that where everyone has the opportunities for individual fulfillment and to contribute to the common good. मेरे प्यारे भाइयों और बहनों और मेघालय के सभी वासियों, आज इस 75वें इंडिपेंडेंस डे को जब हम मना रहे हैं, इस अवसर पर मैं आप सबको शुभकामनाएं देना चाहता हूं और देश और मेघालय स्टेट के सभी वासियों को बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहता हूं। आज इस दिन में हमें गर्व होकर जिस तरीके से हमारे नेताओं ने, हमारे लीडर्स ने देश की आजादी के लिए लड़ाई लड़ी, बहुत सैक्रिफाइस किया ताकि हमें आज एक आजाद भारत में जीने का हमें हक मिले। आज इस दिन महात्मा गांधी जी को, जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी को, सुभाष चंद्र बोस जी को, अंबेडकर जी को, उटुरोत सिंह, क्यानंगबा, फादोगुन निंगमंजा और ऐसे कई नेताएं और फ्रीडम फाइटर्स जिन्होंने बहुत सारे बलिदान दिए, आज हम उन सबको याद करते हैं। इन सालों में आजादी के बाद हमारा देश बहुत आगे चला है। हमारे देश ने और देश के लोगों ने जिस तरीके से काम किया, आज हमारा देश इस ऊंचाई तक आज पहुंचा है। पिछले 2 सालों में कोविड-19 की वजह से बहुत सारी चुनौतियों का सामना हमें करना पड़ा, लेकिन कोविड-19 होने के बावजूद हमारे देश के लोगों ने हार नहीं मानी। चाहे हमारे फ्रंट लाइन वर्कर्स क्यों ना हो, चाहे हमारे पुलिस के नौजवान क्यों ना हो, चाहे हमारे साइंटिस्ट क्यों ना हो, हमने पूरी दुनिया को दिखा दिया कि भारत और भारत के वासियों में पूरा दम है कि हम किसी भी चुनौती का हम लोग सामना कर सकते हैं। और आज इस इंडिपेंडेंस डे के अवसर पर मैं सभी हमारे फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स को बधाई देना चाहता हूं, उन्हें धन्यवाद कहना चाहता हूं कि इन कठिनाइयों के समय में उन्होंने अपने बारे में न सोचकर देश के हमारे सभी नागरिकों के लिए उन्होंने अपना सर्विस दिया। पिछले 3 सालों में जब से हमारी एमडीए सरकार आई है, अलग अलग एरियाज में हमने काम किया। मैंने अपने स्पीच में आप सबको इसके कुछ झलकें दिखाई। फार्मर्स के लिए, किसानों के लिए हमें मालूम है कि हमें और जोर से काम करना है। फोकस करके एक प्रोग्राम शुरू किया जिसके तहत हर फार्मर फैमिली को हम लोग 5,000 रुपया देंगे। युवाओं के लिए हम लोगों ने नया यूथ पॉलिसी निकाला जिसके तहत हम लोग युवाओं को एक स्किल और एक टैलेंट में उनकी मर्जी उस पे हम उनको बढ़ोतरी देने के लिए, ताकि वो उस पे एक्सेल कर सके, हम उनको एक अपॉर्चुनिटी देंगे। महिलाओं के लिए अलग अलग सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप प्रोग्राम के थ्रू और अदर हमारे हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट के प्रोग्राम्स के थ्रू महिलाओं के लिए भी हमने अन्य प्रोग्राम और हमने काम किए हैं। और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सेक्टर में भी पिछले 3 सालों में रिकॉर्ड लेवल के रास्ते हमारे स्टेट में बने हैं। इसके लिए हमारी सारी कैबिनेट और सरकार के सभी अफसर जिन्होंने दिन रात मेहनत करके हमारे देश के और स्टेट के नागरिकों के लिए यह डेवलपमेंट दिया, मैं हमारे डिपार्टमेंट के और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के ऑफिसर्स को मैं धन्यवाद कहना चाहता हूं। लेकिन यह कहते समय मैं आपको यह भी याद दिलाना चाहता हूं कि हमारी आजादी मिल गई। हमारे फ्रीडम फाइटर्स ने, हमारे नेताओं ने उस समय यह आजादी हमें दिलाई। हमने 3 सालों में काम किया है, लेकिन आगे बहुत कुछ करने को बाकी है। आगे बहुत सारे चुनौतियां हैं हमारे सामने। हमें याद रखना पड़ेगा, मेघालय स्टेट में आज तक हमारे माओं को जान गंवानी पड़ती है बच्चे को जन्म देते हुए। इसको हम लोग को सुधारने के लिए हमने काम किया है, लेकिन एक भी मां को अपनी जान गंवानी नहीं होगी। इस संकल्प से हमें आगे बढ़ना है। अभी तक हमारे स्टेट में ऐसे घरे हैं, 75% घरे हैं जहां पे पीने का पानी पाइपलाइन नहीं है। इसे हमें बदलना है। हमारे यहां पे अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट जो नेशनल एवरेज से अर्बन एरिया में ज्यादा है, इसे हमें कम करना है। कोविड के वैक्सीनेशन में आज 47% हम लोग ने कोविड वैक्सीनेशन का कवरेज किया है। और क्योंकि हम लोग हर घर तक नहीं पहुंच पाए, हर नागरिक को जो एलिजिबल है उसे हम वैक्सीनेट नहीं कर पाए, उसकी वजह से हजारों जानें चली गई। इसे हमें कम करना है। हर नागरिक जो वैक्सीनेशन के लिए एलिजिबल है, उनको वैक्सीनेशन दिलवाना है। और ऐसी बहुत सारी चुनौतियां हमारे सामने हैं, लेकिन मुझे विश्वास है कि हमारे स्टेट के लोगों में, भारत में और भारत के सभी वासियों में, हमारे मन में वो जोश, हमारे में वो ताकत पूरी है कि हम हर चुनौती का सामना कर पाएंगे और देश को हम लोग आगे ले जाएंगे। आज सुरक्षा बल के और आर्म फोर्सेस के हमारे सभी नौजवान अफसर सब हमारे साथ हैं। आजादी मिलने के बाद इन्होंने हमारे सीमाओं से लेके देश के हर एक कोने को सुरक्षित रखा। दिन रात नहीं सोए, बहुतों ने जान गंवाई ताकि हम लोग चैन की नींद सो पाए। आज इस स्वतंत्रता दिवस के अवसर पर मैं हमारे आर्म फोर्सेस और सुरक्षा बल के सभी नौजवानों को और ऑफिसर्स को मैं बधाई देना चाहता हूं। आज उनकी वजह से आज ये देश ये 75वां स्वतंत्रता दिवस मना पा रहा है, और आगे भी इसी संकल्प से हमें आगे बढ़ना है। फ्रेंड्स, in my speech I have mentioned a large number of achievements that the government has made. But there are many more milestones to be achieved. Many challenges that we have ahead of us. I'm not here to give a report on what we have done or not done. But I'm here to give a glimpse of hope that yes, if we have the desire in our heart, if we have the commitment, if we put the people of the state in front of us and work with a burning desire in our hearts and in our minds, that yes, we want to change, we want to move forward, we want to develop our state, we want to bring development to our people, then we can do it. And that is the purpose of my just mentioning few of the aspects of the development that we have achieved. But yes, a large amount of it still remains and still is desired. So on this Independence Day, let us recommit ourselves to our state. Let us remember that Meghalaya state and India is one of those shining examples in the country and in the world today that has got the capacity to absorb any level of crisis that we may face. And we have proved it during the COVID times. We have proved that Meghalaya state and this nation has all the strength to not only overcome this within ourselves, but also be a shining example for the rest of the world. So friends, as we look forward to the 2022, when we will celebrate 50 years of our statehood, I take this opportunity to appeal to all of our citizens that let us work unitedly and ensure that the next 50 years, coming 50 years, will be Meghalaya's 50 years. That we will come out to be one of the best states in the country. State where we won't have poverty. A state where mother does not have to lose her life while giving birth to a child. A state where all our children are given access to health care and education. A state where we'll have employment for our children and our youth who wish to work. A state where our farmers' incomes will grow as we move along. Let us move ahead with that mindset and that determination in our heart. These few words, once again, I take this opportunity to wish all my fellow citizens a very, very happy Independence Day. Kublai, Mathila, and Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, on behalf of one and all gathered here, for enlightening us and impressing on our minds the essence of our beautiful state and this great nation. May I now request one and all to kindly rise for the singing of the national anthem. Thank you. Kindly be seated. The parade commander now reports to the chief guest for anumati or consent to lead the parade out.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have another round of applause for the resplendent marching contingents leaving the parade ground to the melodious tunes of Sare Jahan Se Acha, beautifully played by the brass band of the Border Wing Home Guards.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are also privileged to announce the names of awardees on the solemn occasion of our Independence Day. The President's Police Medal for Distinguished Services is awarded to Shri Hemoinlang Nongplo, IPS, Additional Director General of Police, SBCID. Police Medal for Meritorious Service awarded to Shri Manoj Singh, UB Sub-Inspector Computer Wing, PHQ, Meghalaya, Shillong. Union Home Minister's Medal for Excellence in Investigation for the year 2021 to Shri Anurag Kumar, IPS, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Meghalaya, Tura, and Shri Banraplang Jirwa, MPS, Deputy Superintendent of Police, City, East Khasi Hills, Shillong. Police Medal for Gallantry on the occasion of Independence Day 2021, Constable Dan Singh Linkoy, UBSI Ahmed Ali Sheikh, UBSI Tony M. Sangma, Constable Tushar F.N. Marak, UBSI Ronald Livesnays Nongrum, Prem Bahadur Chetri, Constable Farewell Soshang, Constable Lucky Star Lingdo Nongline. Fire Service Medal for Meritorious Service is awarded to Shri Cleverest Marbanyang, Fireman, Shri Stalinshan Walang, Driver, Constable. The Home Guards and Civil Defense Medal for Meritorious Service is awarded to Shri Social Dakhar, Havildar, and Shri Romulus Pinbhalang Khongwar, Senior Staff Officer. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause for all the awardees? To add grandeur to this year's celebrations here in the capital city of Shillong, we have the release of a book and a song to commemorate the 75th Independence Day. It is indeed a pleasure to announce the release of the book Celebrating India at 75, a collaborative effort of the Department of Arts and Culture and Sinod College Management Authority. The commemorative book is a publication containing the collated papers presented at the India at 75 webinar held on the 27th and 28th of May this year, organized by Sinod College. Involving the participation and contributions of over 46 leading scholars and academicians from within the state, the Northeast and other parts of India, covering a range of topics, the India at 75 verticals of the freedom struggle, unsung heroes, actions at 75, achievements at 75, resolves at 75, and ideals at 75. It is indeed a proud moment as participants in the webinar who presented papers include the former chairman of the UPSC, the Honorable MP of Rajya Sabha, Professor Emeritus from leading universities. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the India at 75 celebrations, it gives us also immense pleasure to announce the release of the Meghalaya Freedom Song. The folk fusion song is sung in 4 languages and performed by 11 artists representing the 3 major tribes of our state. The lyrics are the outcome of 4 researchers, and 7 tribal musical instruments have been used in the song. The Freedom Fusion song captures the history of the tribal resistance and freedom movement in the 3 hills prior to 1947 in an attempt to link it to the national movement. The song captures the essence of the local revolts, including unsung heroes against the colonial political control, while seeking to connect with the national narrative, aiming to inspire the intending listeners with national integration and patriotic action in the service of the greater national cause. The lyrics of the fusion song attempts to be both hyperlocal yet nationalistic. The messaging is based on common goals, common culture, and common grounds. The song aims to awaken the listeners, urging them to unshackle themselves from the clutches of the colonial past, seizing the present-day moment while firmly anchored to their indigenous identities. Lastly, in keeping with the objective of keeping the song suffused with local flavors, the indigenous instruments of Duitara, Sing Shinrang have been prominently used, blended with the modern instruments of drum kit, acoustic guitar, bass guitar, keyboards, and electric guitar. I now invite the Honorable Chief Guest to kindly release the book, to be followed by the release of the Freedom Song. I request the Honorable Commissioner and Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya, Arts and Culture Department, faculty members of Shillong College, Dr. K. Lingdo, Principal, Sri David Kharshandi, and Dr. K. Buam, editors, to kindly join the Chief Guest in the release of the book. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause, please? We are grateful to the Arts and Culture Department and also to the faculty members and management of CNOT College, Shillong. For the release of the Freedom Song, I request the Commissioner and Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya, Arts and Culture Department, and the artists to kindly join the Chief Guest in the release of the song. Ladies and gentlemen, immediately after the release, the Freedom Song will be played. citation to Dr. R. Taryang, Dr. P. Manners, and Dr. Robert Marak, who will receive the citation on behalf of the community workers. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for all our frontline workers, community workers, who have given their utmost and continue to do so.